So we'll skip heads unless the tornado turns out to be big, right? If we come up really tight, they can lose the first 10 seconds of the opening sound on the Kennedy piece. We'd pick it up. I don't have the script here.
Punch up R6, please. Stand by to take this piece. Why don't you roll a little? We'll take a look. Cliff, I'd like you to take a continuous roll on LA, okay? They're going to roll it to give you a check-in. And then I'll split around the pieces on other people, but you take them all. Anytime you want.
Allison.
No, Cliff and Marvin will take
So
the
you're
first
just
one.
bringing it on R6, right?
Yeah.
Karen,
Here it comes for check-in, Marvin.
you're going to need an hour to set before 7 o'clock.
You know, it looks like it's going to be another severe weather day. Tornadoes again reported throughout the Ohio Valley, and I'm thinking this might be a good time to talk about just what you do in the event of a tornado, some of the safety rules that the National Weather Service puts out. You should think about that for the show.
Go right into the fact that Kennedy went 5 for 8, but lost, but are still losing. What we'll do, our first board to come up will be the Democratic delegates to date, which will show Carter over the top. And then you can come back and say, but there was something along the lines, but there was some bad news because Kennedy took 5 out of the 8, and we will show a chart of who won what. You're going to see 5 under Kennedy and 3 under Carter. And then you can go to the 2 out of the big 3, and here's how they looked. Kennedy in California, Carter in Ohio, Kennedy in New Jersey. Into a Leslie piece on the view of the White House, which is they're feeling over the top and they're happy. Then we'll catch up and do the Democratic raw votes in the other 5 smaller ones. First the 2 Carter, and then the 3 Kennedy. And into a Duval piece, Kennedy's in there to fight. He's in there to the end. He's not going to quit. We will then do Republicans to date, just more icing on the cake for Reagan. His numbers are overwhelming. And Reagan was a happy man, of course, last night. Voiceover.
Shows me a rally in the Los Angeles area last night, just to get a little Reagan picture in the section.
And here's how he did in the primaries, and just very quickly, as quickly as we can, run through these boards.
How do we, then we do the tornado?
Yeah, that's a late fee. That's not coming in until 7 o'clock, so we're not sure whether we'll have it.
Maybe pictures in 14, if not, we'll still.
How are we going to do that?
Since you'll do the hard part of
I'll
it.
do
One
that.
person was killed, however many injured, savage tornado, X amount of damage. And our meteorologist, Valerie Voss, here now with more on that and the rest of the day's weather.
So she does that and all the weather at one time.
One of the Cuban ball players that they signed yesterday. 1 second of video. He's 22 years old.
They're going to be using the Stefan type over. I don't think they're going to need it twice.
Right. 02163.
Play it back for me.
Sure. Coming back. There you go.
Inside of it. Okay. All right. And across the top, it's going to say June. You have to say June.
Uh-huh.
I say June. Right. Democratic.
Right. Oh, I think so. I mean, as you say, it would be...
State.
Yeah. As you say, it would be nice for the graphic.
You're going to be able to take this.
Because the graphic explains what you're
Conventions.
talking about.
NBC has permanent loops in there, and we'll feed out of NBC, feed them into here from New York.
The Carter soundbite, great day. Kennedy soundbite saying, I'm still in. Look how well I did yesterday. It's a new ballgame.
And he seems pretty comfortable.
I have not spoken with you. I've spoken with Greenfield.
I know. I hope she called Greenfield. That's all I want.
Thank you.
Yes, there have been some judgments made about how we're going to do this.
the way we're gonna do it, actually,
Thought we could roll that into the interview. You were from a pure point and say, well, you know, one element we've got to look forward to is what to do about John Anderson. Here's what he told our Bob McNamara last night. Let's roll that little sound bite and see what Jody has to say about it.
Let Jody talk about Anderson.
Yeah.
Sure, absolutely.
Now,
Okay.
for Eric's purposes, when we're all through with this, like
The
I
last
said,
time,
what about it?
the problem with that is the last time we did Jody Powell on the White House lawn, he showed up seconds before we
Well, that's true, right?
came
He
to
got
him.
plugged in.
And he had no way of hearing
The
us
only
speak
thing
in New York.
today, though, is we're going a little later than we thought we would. The viewers-
Yeah.
Maybe the thing to do
yeah.
is me take it back from Pierpoint, roll the Anderson tape, you know, I do it. And then if we want to go back to,
Powell?
see if Pal has a comment.
That's fine.
We could say, you know, I mean, if
Yeah,
we'll
I
know by
think,
that time.
yeah, I would,
We'll
I
have
would
that.
run the Anderson tape and then go to the
Yeah.
Powell thing. I really think you're running into a problem of keeping Jody there, if he's late, if he's not on time,
Of course, if we run it, in other words, you suggest we do the Kennedy soundbite, the Carter soundbite, the Kennedy soundbite, the Anderson
soundbite,
and then the Powell
and
interview.
then Powell is on the White House lawn,
Of course, if he hasn't heard the Anderson soundbite, it doesn't
Well,
make any difference.
but then,
But at least then you can say, well, we just heard Anderson
yeah,
say, what do you think
yeah,
about it?
or Pierpoint will know what Anderson.
You mean
says.
put
So one-
Anderson before Powell?
Before Powell.
All right, that's
Or
probably
let
just
Powell
as easy.
play
yeah.
off all three elements.
Okay, and then that way, then we can talk to Powell, if, you know, we'll know by that time.
Yeah.
if we've-
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that can transition right out of Pierpoint into Susan.
Yeah.
What I'll do, I'll have magic to Washington, the
Yeah.
three sound bites,
Yeah.
so Pierpoint can
Yeah.
even show them to Jody ahead of time,
Yeah.
so that they're all tuned in to what will have been on the air.
And then it makes it a little smoother also, because as Bob says, then we go right from Powell on the White House lawn to Susan in the studio and talks about.
Yeah, that's
You know,
What
they
is
say,
it?
well, the other
Yeah.
side of the story, here's our reporter who's been with Kennedy all along.
Come out of that in terms of Republican.
I think Susan is good. She's got, be interesting. I mean, what does Kennedy do? He's won 5 out of 8 primaries and
He's lost.
and he's lost. What does he do now? Did we wake you up? I'm sorry.
Gentleman in the box.
Sorry about that.
It's like on the Muppet Show, right? The two guys.
What do you have to tell us? Kennedy and
Right.
Nothing at all? The West Bank strike? Nothing to television this morning.
There was one bad scene at the top. Roll on it and let's take it in and see what happens. Marvin, go ahead, get up to speed. Yeah, Tommy. Yeah, it's David now. I'm just taking it in now. Can I play back? Go ahead and let it roll. Oh, fine. Send him to 15 whenever you want. Fine.
Okay, good.
What's that?
We're talking about the tornado.
The problem is the NBC people don't, the NBC affiliate will not get their people up and work overtime.
Their people will come in at 7 o'clock our time, which is the time the line goes up. That's what time they will come in to work.
They will come in.
He will not bring them in any earlier. The alternative we have is to bring an edit, not even at a feed system, into the telco center, which is nearby, and feed directly from telco. We're now checking the availability of a feeding machine.
All we need is a playback machine. We'll take it all in here and correct it,
And
feed it back to the time base, correct it.
All right, well, it's going to be very late. If we do get it, it's going to be after 7.
Absolutely.
Under any circumstances.
Well, if we work through telco, it could be earlier, but not much. If you work through the affiliate, if you work through the affiliate, you're talking well after 7.
Well, you're talking the same amount of time either way, because it's 7 o'clock line.
Do we have any other tornado material available? That's in the house. That's in the
This
house.
stuff appears to be.
This is the better
Biggie,
stuff.
yeah.
There aren't many killed, but it's a good
No,
property
but
story.
the damage is looks like it's good.
All right, let's see what you can do.
Hi-oh!
He's off on both sides.
Yes.
But going into the middle of the piece, he switches back just to one off.
Yeah,
So
you know
he's
what?
all right.
He said it's two different cameras. They don't match. That's the problem.
He gets back, he goes off all lines.
Yeah? Yeah, the first one, right. You can take the next one.
Yeah, it's, we still don't know whether the tornado stuff is going to be ready for us. There will be no, I think there will be no.
Let's program, please. You've got 2 minutes to do this.
Earlier this year, in Hickston, Northeast, will
There it is. Don Stetson's up here now. Don Stetson.
Kennedy turned aside are already committed to President Carter.
Lights. Gotta go to announce.
This is Wednesday morning, June 4th, and from CBS News in New York, here is Bob Sheep.
Good morning. President Carter, at this moment, has the delegates to win the Democratic presidential nomination.
Since yesterday, there have been 25 or 30 tornadoes reported throughout the Plain States, especially North Dakota and Nebraska.
In Florida, a raggedy, tattered Cuban refugee, Eduardo Cajuzo, signed a contract yesterday with a Detroit Tiger farm club.
The government is committed to ending all limits on savings account interest by 1986.
Roll on.
Last night, evidence. 4, 5, 6. Well, the man with a big smile on his face back there is White House Press Secretary Jody Powell, who's standing on the White House lawn this morning, and I believe Robert Pierpoint is standing there, no doubt with a neutral look on his face.
That's where we're getting our interference. There are a few places in this country. The pharmaceutical companies are gearing up. There are efforts to genetically engineer through bacteria the production of human interferon.
I thought we'd look at a new development in television news this week and what it might mean for political coverage in the years to come.
The same survey says that between 1977 and 1979, the monthly cost of running a home, mortgage payments, utilities, taxes, the whole bit, that went up 37.5%.
Down 16 track, take key.
Well, here's how. More than 24 tornadoes and violent thunderstorms have struck all the way from Nebraska to Virginia. At least 3 people were killed in the hardest hit area, the city of Grand Island in central Nebraska. There, a half-dozen twisters devastated an area of 150 square blocks. Well, that's our report for today. Thanks for joining us. Of course, we'll be here tomorrow. Hope you can be here, too. Good morning.